Welcome, everybody, to our August Empower Hour. I am so excited to get into these conversations that we're going to have today. We have two very special speakers coming to give us some information that I don't know where else you can get it. You could try to Google it, but this information is going to be very specific to agritourism operations and marketing, and I'm just excited to hear from them. If you don't know who I am, my name is Abriana, and I am one of the on the board of directors for the Southeast District. So I'm in Wayne County, and I am an agritourism farm operating hopeful. I am very, very close to that happening. So I just love being able to facilitate these conversations so that we can all learn more. Today, we're going to hear an update from Erica from the North Carolina Department of Ag about the Visit NC Farms app and website. And then we're going to hear from Kenya Joseph. She's the board chair of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Food Policy Council. We're going to hear about the fundamentals of text message marketing, how to build your text list, and create a content calendar and use it for stronger outreach. And then Kenya is going to lead a mock consultation with another farmer. Her name is Alicia, to demonstrate how to get started. So not only will you learn the fundamentals of it, you will see a live example of how to get started. And I think that is just so cool. These Empower Hour series are a part of your ANA membership, a benefit of it. So we really enjoy bringing these topics together. If you have any topics that you would like for us to cover, please let us know and we will put it on the calendar and let you know when we're covering it. But all right, Erica, do you want to get started with an update from the Visit NC Farms app?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm gonna share my screen. Entire screen share. All right. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes.
All right, thanks. All right, so I've prepared a few updates for you all just to keep you in the loop with what's happening this month through the Visit NC Farms program and just some opportunities to promote your events and connect with other people, other businesses in our network. So I'll cover some of our spring and summer ads that we've had going on, a PR for Good campaign award, a new partnership spotlight with NC Eat and Play. We just kicked that off today, actually. Some fall programming, some metrics, sharing website and social media, email newsletter metrics. And then I'll dive into some of the website tools and resources and just kind of walk you through the new website. And then at the end, some reminders, action items, and we'll just dive right in. I want to make sure that we have plenty of time for Kenya, for questions and discussion at the end. So I'm going to zip through this a little bit, but you're welcome to send us questions in the chat, and then we'll try to get to all of that towards the end. So some of the paid ads that we had a chance to do earlier this year are highlighted here through WRAL's Out and About. We did a segment with them in March that reached about 40,000 people. Spotify streaming ads, we did that earlier this year, and that reached 220,000 people. We also did some Disney streaming that reached over 142,000 people in the Charlotte, Raleigh areas. And these paid ads were supported by the Tobacco Trust Fund grant that we were able to get an extension for and reallocate funding for some of these paid ads and some other promotions that we have coming up here. So this was really exciting. We had a chance to continue promoting the Visit NC Farms program earlier this year and through the summer. Another campaign that we're working on is with the North Carolina chapter of Public Relations Society of America. They do a PR for Good campaign every year, and they choose a nonprofit to work with. So this year, we submitted an application for the Visit NC Farms program, and we were selected. So that was also very exciting. And these are just some of the key points that they're helping us with, refining our message, PR goals, communications, and then of course some goals to measure and adjust as we go along. So we're working with them. We'll have more updates hopefully at our next September partner update meeting. And this is the new partnership spotlight that I mentioned earlier with NC Eat and Play. We kicked that off this morning, actually. We collaborated with Megan from NC Eat and Play for an Instagram reel, and I think it was around 10 a.m. this morning when the reel was posted and shared, and it's already gotten over 20,000 views. And so this is a really, really good time for anyone who's listed on the Visit NC Farms website to go ahead and submit your events, update your listing, because Megan's going to be featuring Visit NC Farms in her blog, in her newsletters, on Instagram, across all of her social media outlets. And she's got a reach of over 800,000 followers across digital platforms. So this is a very exciting partnership, and it means that events, trails, business listings, everything we have going on this fall is really going to have a great chance to be highlighted here. Some of our fall programming, aside from these campaigns that we're working on, includes Back to School, Western North Carolina Open for Business, Farm to School programs, event displays, pop-ups at both the Raleigh and Charlotte farmers markets are being planned for September, October, and November. I'll show you guys a mock-up of some of the event displays in a moment. For September, of course, harvest, fall crops, festivals, tastings, and October, we've just highlighted a few of the themes and topics that we'll be promoting throughout the fall. And again, with the state farmers market activations, we just thought this would be a great opportunity to reach the millions of visitors that come to our state farmers markets. And I think in the next slide, yeah, so these are some of the event displays that we have ordered. They've been delivered already, and we're really excited to start using these. We've got new rack cards ordered. We've got new tents, tablecloths, backdrop banners, feather flags, and our agritourism truck is also getting some new decals. Those should be finished all by the end of this month. As far as some metrics for our website, social media, email newsletters, last year's website visitors, we had about 29,000. For the new website, we don't have any analytics yet. We just started plugging in those tracking codes. I hope to have some more metrics or analytics within the next 30 days. I know that we've already started seeing some good traffic, but we'll share more of those updates in the coming weeks. For Instagram, Facebook, want to give a shout out to Alicia, who's been handling our social media management. She's helped us reach almost 13,000 followers now. So these numbers are a little outdated. It's actually more than 12.5 by now. Our email newsletter subscribers continue to increase as well. And we're still working on more trails, more itineraries that we'll be sharing through our newsletters, blog posts, social media, and then, of course, our Visit NC Farms website. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the new website. What the three things that I wanted to emphasize were that you'll find industry resources, things like grants, webinars, our partners who also offer wonderful resources. You can update your listing on the website. If you're already listed, there's a button at the bottom of the form, and I'll show you where that is. And then, of course, you can submit your event for promotions. Let me see if this works here. All right, so this is visitncfarms.com. The website is being hosted on WordPress, and you'll notice that we narrowed down some of the categories for farm listings. So you've got farm visits, guided tours, farmers markets, trails, workshops, farm fresh sips and bites. These are for the destinations that offer farm to table dinners, wine tastings, and of course, your destination, your business could fall under several of these categories. They're going to naturally overlap. So we wanted to make sure that our website visitors could easily find that. So when you go to plan your visit, you're going to see our farms. And you'll notice here that you don't see the locations on the map immediately. And that's because with close to 2,000 listings, we found that it was really slowing down this page. So when you scroll down, all you have to do is use the filters here to select your farm category. You can narrow it down by amenity or by county, and then submit for that to load. So here's just an example of farm stays, lodging. I'm just going to look at Broad Slab Distillery here. So this is their description. Their website is listed here. Social media, it goes directly to their page. And then down at the bottom, if they want to update their listing, this will come to us on the back end where we can just review these updates, confirm with the business owner, and it should be updated within a week. Let me go ahead and show you where these forms are. So industry resources, this is where you can find your form to get listed or submit your event. So you can see, you can type in your description here. It's really important that we have your email address too, so that we can make sure to add you to our industry newsletter. We're going to be sending that out once a month. And yeah, you can select your county, select your any categories that you fall under, amenities that you offer. All of this will be reviewed and then posted on the Our Farms page. And then one more thing that I want to show you is the events page. So events have been coming in. We want to thank you all for submitting your, I think we've got a couple dozen events right now that are pending for review. So maybe by tomorrow afternoon, you'll see a lot more events coming in for August, September. But this is just an example of what this calendar looks like. So as part of that partnership with NC Eat and Play, there will be a banner on her website that directs people to our events page. So this is an even better time for you to start sending us your events, anything that you want us to help you promote, updating your business listing, of course. And then our blog, we're still working to migrate some of the blog posts, but this is just one example of a blog that we posted earlier this year. As you can see, we've only got one so far. We are working, like I said, to update those blogs, edit them, and then bring them over here from the old website. That should be done in a couple of weeks. And oh, one more thing, trails. So we are also updating more trails, working on some featured itineraries. So this is just an example of an itinerary or a trail for Henderson County farmers markets. And there we go. Let me go back to this page. On the website, you'll also find under industry resources some of our partners who are offering different webinars, grant opportunities. One that I'd really, really like to highlight is Uplift North Carolina. They have a grants and loans database. I was looking through it a couple of weeks ago, and I actually applied for a $500 grant for 4imprint, and we were able to order some new coolers, branded coolers for raffle prizes, giveaways at some of these farmers market events. So I really encourage everyone to check out that database for grants for technical assistance through Uplift North Carolina. NC State's Tourism Extension also has an agritourism resource hub, and that's got lots of ideas, pros, cons, considerations. We've also got on our website a marketing webinar series. You've got different strategies. It's a very in detail webinar series that you can check out. And then, of course, visit North Carolina. If you're not already receiving their updates, they have a monthly partner update, and they had one this morning on the portrait of American travelers. They usually record these, so you can find it if you just Google or look through their website. Visit North Carolina partner webinars, and you'll see all of the previous updates. They've got some great resources, just valuable insights into travel trends and what's being used by different travel marketers throughout the country. Some action items, just a reminder, update your listing if you haven't already. Submit your events for promotions, and we're also excited to show you this. These are some metal signs for farms. We've got limited signs available, and we're going to be bringing them to the Agritourism Networking Association's Summer Farm Tour. So when you see us at the registration table, let us know if you need help with updating your listing or getting signed up, and we'll also have one of these signs for you. And I think that's it. That's all I have. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for that, Erica. I'm just going to reiterate, but also I have a question. Does it cost to list your farm on the Visit NC Farms website?
I'm so glad you asked. It's free.
So basically, there's no reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Can I
Your
ask a
farm-
follow-up, Abriana?
Yes, please.
So for us specifically, we do a lot of events in September that are very repetitive. So the event that we do on a Saturday is the same event that we do on a Sunday. So Erica, if we want to list like every day of that event, is there a way to easily duplicate it? Or is there a way when you're submitting the form to kind of select the dates that that event applies to?
I would suggest listing, actually, I would suggest submitting duplicate events, because the event once the event, so to speak, expires, it won't show on the calendar anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was gonna chime in too, because I approve the events that if because people have submitted duplicate events, but it could be taxing. So if you do want help with that, you can message us as admins and I'll put my email in the chat, but you could message us and we can add it for you if it's too complicated.
Oh, that would be awesome. One of our events is like 10, 12 days, so that would be wonderful.
Oh, maybe you can duplicate. It might let us duplicate it for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for saying that, Alicia.
It definitely could be a feature for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I am going to hand this over to Miss Kenya. And then if we have any more questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. But I just want to give her as much time as she needs to talk to us about text message marketing.
Cool. Hi, everybody. Let me share my screen. Okay. Is it sharing? Can you all see that?
Yes, now we can. Yes.
Okay, awesome. because it's like my Zoom is like split between my two screens. I can't see it. So I am here to talk to everybody about SMS marketing strategies for your business, but specifically for farms and agritourism businesses, because it is a little bit different than kind of what we see in like regular e-commerce. So it's really about going from the field to the phone, using your SMS to grow not just your farm sales, but also your relationships, which always end up leading to more business. That's a huge part of growing as a company and as a entity out there in the world. So why SMS for farms? So it's one of the fastest and most effective ways to communicate and connect with customers, period. SMS has over 98% open rate, which means that when you text somebody something, they are going to read it, and they're reading that under 3 minutes. It's great for sharing really quick updates. It's great for driving same day sales or even same week sales, but also keeping your farm as a resource and as a food access point top of mind. And you're not dealing with having to fight social media algorithms, right? We think that everybody at some point in starting their business has, started a Facebook account or an Instagram account, and the growth can be very, very slow, especially now. So you can use this for so many different things. You can use this for weather updates for your event. You can use this if you have a bumper crop. If you all of a sudden have way too many peaches that you need to move, this is a great way to let people know that you have them. Changes, or maybe you're not going to be at a farmer's market for a particular week, or you want to remind people that your event is coming up, and also do that in a non-intrusive way, but that also keeps their eyes on it. SMS is the perfect way to do that. More importantly, it's direct and personal. So someone doesn't have to go on Facebook or go on Instagram or another platform or go into their email to hear from you. Most people now, and it's been studied, have intense email fatigue. People are unsubscribing to things in mass. It doesn't mean that you can't be successful there with email too, but it is showing a shift in the behavior of folks, and texting is really kind of the way that people communicate now, and probably will for a long time going forward because it's quick. Okay, so let me give you a real world example. So a single well-timed text can move your product faster than any social media post. Any reel or post or carousel is not going to be beat by a good text campaign. So you have a farmer who sent a short message about having fresh eggs, and they sold out in under 2 hours. The secret is the timing, it's the clarity of the offer, and it's an easy way for customers to respond. So those are really the key things around it. It's that timeliness. It creates urgency without being obtrusive and intrusive, actually. You have a clear offer. You're getting straight to the point of what you want someone to know. Hey, my farm is having a special farm stand event on Saturday. We want to see you come. Simple. And it's a simple response option for the person receiving the text. They're not required to respond or interact, take advantage of the information unless you need them to. So if it's a situation where they need to click on a link to do something else, that's also a very easy way for them to do that without having to look up anything. They can literally click that link right from their phone, and they're taken to wherever they need to be, whether that's an order page, whether that's an event page, produce list. I've seen those from certain farms, CSA order page. It makes the access really, really easy. Okay, next. So here's the basics, and everything that I do kind of in the business space is built on best practices. You always want to be with best practices for everything that you do, because it'll give you the best result, honestly. So your messaging needs to be clear, quick, and actionable. So you always want to keep it short, under 160 characters, so customers can read it at a glance. You always want to include a call to action so they know exactly what to do next from that text. Do they need to click on a link? Do they need to make a plan in their head to go somewhere at a certain time? An example of this, again, is this week's produce list is up on our website. Click here. So that person already buys from you, and now they don't have to hunt for going to your website and going through a menu. They can go straight to what they want. So you can use SMS for promotion posts, you know, again, that example of having XX peaches you want to move. Or are you dropping a new product? Maybe you have a value add product that you're making that you want people to know about. You can use it for visual content, right? It's not just about telling people to buy your product, it's showing the product to them in real time on their phone. So if you have beautiful produce, if people can see that while you're telling them that it's beautiful, that is going to make them want to buy it even more. And this is leveraging the rule of 7, which is I'm gonna go into in a little bit. And then also, it's a great way to kind of keep touching your customers. You can offer education. Remember that in your business and in your products, you are the expert. So you're literally letting other people know that by touching them with text. You're letting them know what's in season from the moment and from moment to moment and what you have to offer that is seasonal. You're letting them know, potentially, you could let them know one fun fact about a product that you have every week if you want to. People like things like that in small doses because also we live in a world where people have very low attention spans, right? So we don't want to give them a ton of information on a screen because they won't read it. I go through this every day in all of my work. You know, you craft this perfect email and it has all your information laid out beautifully. And then you get an email back from the person you send it to, asking the question that you answered already because they don't read. So you do have to be smart in how you do this, but there are easy ways to do that. Okay, so the legal and trust issues around text, this is very, very important because it's different from how it is for email marketing. So again, built from best practices. So any text message, SMS that you're sending as a business or an entity, as opposed to like interpersonally, you have to have what's called an opt-in. So you never want a cold text. So let's say you have a mailing list already. You have all these email addresses. Let's say you have 50 people on that list and you collected phone numbers just as an info form when they signed up for that. Unless those folks explicitly agreed to receive text from you, you cannot text them. So in a certain way of looking at this, anytime that you decide that you want to do SMS marketing, you're starting from scratch. Even if you already have a platform in place that you're using for other purposes like email, for example, because you need to get that digital agreement, the person wants to receive text from you. And this is by law. This is why that's like that. You always have to include in your message, whatever it is. Hey, stop by our farm from 3 to 5 where we have a sale on eggs. Must include a stop to unsubscribe. That's a legal thing. So in any SMS system that you use, it's equipped to where if a person receives a text from you and they type stop, they're automatically unsubscribed from your list. There's a lot of litigation around that. 15 years ago, text messaging was wild, wild west for businesses. And so a lot of people did a lot of crazy things. And so now we have laws. And the final best practices for this aspect is use plain and friendly language. A fine balance needs to really be struck to sound human, friendly, and engaging without sounding overly formal or too familiar or obviously automated. So there are whole systems out there where you can get all of your text generated for you. You can get a year's worth of content in 30 minutes of work because we now have AI. Now, that is very valuable from a time-saving perspective, but you also always, as the business owner or the person in charge of communications for a business, have to be completely in charge of not just the accuracy of the information conveyed, but the tone. That's a very important thing. People can tell if they're getting a text that sounds too familiar, even though it's from a business, even if they're already a customer, that's going to end up being a red flag and it's going to turn them off. If you come off sounding too cold, it's like, oh wow, they sicked AI on me. And people really do feel these things. They can pick up on these things very quickly. So a fine balance does need to be struck in how you communicate, and you want to keep how you communicate consistent too. You don't want to be super formal and educational one week and then you're like, hey y'all, come down to the farm next week. It doesn't work. You have to pick your voice before you do it. Again, texting is personal, so it's essential to follow these rules and respect your customers. Always get that permission. Always give a clear way to opt out. And with all the platforms we have now, that's standard. So it's not even really something that you have to think about anymore. It's what's going to happen if you're using a platform. And all of this builds trust and keeps your farm, your business reputation strong. So very important. So how do we start your
Hey,
list?
Kenya,
Yes,
can I ask a question?
sure.
In your example of I have an
Mhm.
email list of customers and
Yes.
I also garnished their phone numbers in this
Mm.
email list.
Yeah.
Can I send a generic text to opt them in, or how can I bridge that
Uh-uh.
gap? Or no?
So what you would have to do is, and so this is a deeper question, and you're going to see why.
Okay,
I'm going to try to give you a top line answer, but I'm going to come back to this.
fair
So
enough.
if you have your email list that also collected phone numbers and you used a service, a platform. So let's say this is something that works through your website. Um, what's going to happen is that platform is going to give you an option of adding on or turning on SMS marketing. So what will happen is you'll need to create a link that you're going to send in an email blast to those folks and say, hey, we now have SMS of it capability and we would love to be able to text you. Would you like that? And if they want to, they click that link, it opts them in, and then they get an automated welcome text from your business. So a lot of the laws have changed in the last 5 years to where it's very kind of cut and dry how you can do this. You can't just go and take a list and just, go and text the folks, even in an automated way. So I hope that answers your question, but I have more at the end kind of getting into this.
That does, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no problem. Yeah. So starting your list looks like this. And I spent some time just thinking through this process because I've done this a lot over my career. And I'm like, how do you break it down so it's easy to understand, but also doesn't feel daunting? So it really is 4 steps, but those 4 steps do have some tasks in them. So the first step in anything you do, not just SMS, marketing, business plan, all these different things. Do I want to create this new product? Evaluate, first and foremost step. So in the scope of SMS texting and using this as a marketing tool, your first question is, what is your current marketing strategy? And you need to be very honest about that. It is totally okay if you don't have one. That's totally fine too. If the answer is none, that's okay. But we need to be clear on what that is. You need to ask, would you be starting from scratch or adding on to something you already have? So that's that question of, are you already, generating a mailing list from your website or have a newsletter versus I've not done anything with marketing at all. I'm starting from scratch. So this is a place of evaluation. There are deeper things in your evaluation, which I'll show kind of briefly in kind of the mock consult I'm going to do with Alicia, because even for the information that someone would need coming from the outside to help you is the same information you need to know for yourself. So that evaluation also looks like, what are your core products? What are the highest selling products you have? And what are the lowest selling products you have? What do you think are the reasons for a product being highest seller versus lowest seller? That's important because it's going to control your voice. It's going to control the content of what you're putting out there. What do you want to communicate? If you have something that you love and you're like, I don't understand what this is selling, is it an issue of, is it not selling because people don't know about it? Is it not selling because it's too expensive? Is it not selling because it's just something people don't want? This is a way to get that feedback also and be clear about that. So you want to definitely take all of that evaluation into play before you even start. The next step is identify who is your target customer currently. Who do you want to be your target customer in the future? So that looks like, for example, I'm trying to think of a good one. I'm gonna use Alicia's Farm Street Fair as an example, but at the same time, I'm making big assumptions on what I'm about to say. So their farm is located in
Totally fine, Kenya. Thank you.
No problem. So their farm is located in the Charlotte metro area, but they're not actually in the county in which Charlotte is. They're in Cabarrus. They're not in Mecklenburg County. However, they have lots of customers who are in Mecklenburg County also because they sell at one of our farmers markets. So in asking that question of Street Fair Farm and looking at it from the outside, your target customer is anybody who can access one of the farmers markets that you sell at in Charlotte Metro, or anybody who's purchasing CSA from you and can get to a drop off or pickup point rather that you have. who do you want to be? Who do you want your target customer to be? Well, if Street Fair is planning a value add product, something that is shelf stable, something that, does not need to be, is not just fresh produce as an example all the time, that changes your customer base. Now you can potentially think about, are we planning to sell a product online and we can ship it to somebody from in another state? Are we planning to do a market in another county? What do those folks look like? What is their experience? Because Mecklenburg County, Charlotte is urban, right? But if you're going to say the market in Salisbury, it's a little bit of a different vibe. So what does that look like? You need to understand what it is. What are the key things and the key things that your customer base cares about? And if there are any new types of customers that you want to engage with. You also want to know, how do your target customers engage with you now? Do you have a big following on Instagram? Are most people coming to you through Facebook? Are most of the people coming to you from the farmer's market? Are most people buying from your CSA, or are they coming to your farm? You need to look at that, but you also need to understand, what areas do you want to see increase? When we as business owners tend to have this idea, when we think about marketing, especially if it's not our forte, what do you want out of marketing? I want more sales. Yes, of course we want more sales. But what we're really asking for is, we want to have more reach. We want to have the people who would best want our product and be into our product to be able to reach and access our product. That's what you're really trying to say. So there are extra steps to get to that clear answer. And without clear vision, you can't have a clear execution. That's the other thing. And when you don't have a clear execution, you end up throwing tons of money into marketing and it's not doing anything for you. That happens to a lot of people, and they get very, dejected pretty quickly because you feel like you're wasting money. And in some ways you are. So we want to avoid that. So step 3 is plan. Can you add on to an existing platform you already have, like a newsletter? What assets do you need to let people know to sign up for your SMS list? So if you are a farm that sells at a farmer's market, you best believe when you set up your SMS list, you need to have a sign at your booth. These people need to be seeing that sign and scanning that sign when they're buying from you, right? So we need to look at what you need based on how you sell to be able to promote the list. And then finally, implementation. That's going to be your platform setup. That's going to be engaging other media forms to promote signing up for your SMS list. If you have Facebook, you're making posts about that so that people know that you have this list. You may need to get signage if you're at a market or you have a farm stand. You may need to print flyers if you're doing CSA boxes to put the flyer of your SMS list into those CSA packages. So you want your existing customers to find you first. If your customers can't find you, new customers can't find you. So you want your customers to find you first. So once you've kind of done all that, now you want to grow your list. So the more touch points you have with customers, the more likely they are to buy. And it takes at least several exposures before they take action. And this is for new people, not necessarily so much people who've already been buying from you. So this is the rule of 7. People need to see your message 7 times before they respond. This is a law of advertising. If you have watched Mad Men, you have heard about this. This is a thing that has existed forever. And it's true. It will take somebody seeing something 7 times. How many of us were worn down at 2:00 in the morning by an Instagram ad that you've seen 15 times? And finally you're like, well, maybe I should try that. And then you click the button. That's the whole point of advertising. So it's also to let you know to be patient with this process, and that the consistency of the process is even more important in some ways than the actual execution. You got to keep doing it. So the first step is you want to start collecting phone numbers, and permission everywhere you connect with your community so you can build that familiarity and trust. So again, that's at checkout. If that's your farm stand or at the farmer's market, you need a QR code at your checkout for them to sign up right there as you're making that sale. If you sell items online, you can offer sign up through your online store or your website. If you sell CSA, you're putting an SMS list sign up flyer in customer boxes. And again, leverage your social media. Even in your link in bio, you can make a sign up for your SMS list right there now. Meta offers a lot of tools for that make it a lot easier. And there's other platforms that are free or close to free that will achieve that for you based on your brand and your vibe. Everybody can choose what they want to use. So quick examples, because I'm watching my time very closely. So Communicating via text for something that you want people to know. Fresh corn today only, text back to reserve for pickup 4 to 6 p.m. CSA members, add eggs to your pickup this week, reply yes. Just picked vine ripe tomatoes, reply yes to hold the basket for Saturday market. Peach season is here, pre-order now, pick up Thursday 3 to 6. So I'm not going to go through all of them because everybody can get this, but it is an example of how you can let people know things are happening. I'll read the last one because I know a lot of people sell at farmers markets and it's a big part of the work that I do too. We'll be at Davidson Farmers Market this Saturday with our incredible white peaches. Come early, they go fast. That touch will reach a lot of people, right? Because a lot of the times when people go to markets, they're going for particular vendors, but they're going for the vibe, right? However, just in the nature and the business of farmers markets, it does take a lot of work for a person to find out which vendors are selling at a market on a particular Saturday, even if they're all the same every week, mind you, and what they have, right? And I own a market in Cornelius. I have a produce vendor who's amazing. We start the season with him giving me a list of what he's selling, and then invariably halfway through the season, all of a sudden we start seeing stuff that we never heard about before. It's fine because we want him to sell whatever he has, but if I'm communicating on our market website, this vendor has apples and tomatoes and bell peppers and etc. And then all of a sudden he comes with watermelons, right? How am I notifying people that we have watermelons, which is a big seller, right? So we use SMS marketing to be like, hey, we have watermelons and we'll have them for the next 2 weeks. That gets people going and they don't even have to respond to you. They just show up. So I want to highlight that answer for you too. Okay. So engagement tactics in SMS marketing. Frequency goes back to what I said. Consistency builds a trust. If you set this up and you text people 1 week and then you got busy and then you were over it the next week, you're not being consistent. People remember that even if it's subconscious and it makes your business look inconsistent. So there is something to be said for you kind of have to lock in and do this. The good news is there are a lot of tools that we have now that will help you schedule all of this. So it's not like work heavy, intensive to do because things happen, life happens, busyness happens. And especially for growers, like what is your primary concern? It is not this, right? So there are a lot of things that can make this easy and automated, but the consistency is the key. So you really want to start off touching people once a week, max. You only add extra messages for special things. You have a special offer, maybe you're having a flash sale because you have a lot of something, or hey, we're not going to be at Salisbury Market this weekend because it's storming. We'll see you next week. Just letting people know they appreciate that. So if you text too little, not great. If you text too much, they're going to unsubscribe. That's the key. And another big piece to engagement tactics is tracking what works. Now, most of the platforms now, they track everything for you. So they'll show you your open rate. They'll show you your unsubscribed. They'll show you who unsubscribed. They do what's called A/B testing. So like you'll have a text in one version and you can send 2 different versions. So you can compare and see which wording or which picture or which combination appealed to people more. That's kind of higher level stuff, but it all falls under tracking what works and adjusting, right? And also be open to customer feedback. You may get a customer, especially if you're at a farmer's market or a farm stand, where they're like, hey, I signed up for this a month ago. I really appreciate the information. Your texts aren't clear. Now, I don't know why that would be. I'm just giving an example. But take that feedback and integrate it immediately. That's the most important thing. Don't let yourself get defensive because it's easy to. It takes work in the beginning of this to do this. And so it's easy to get defensive because you're holding on to it. And I completely understand that. So your first 3 steps when you're actually ready to start. And I left off a G and it's glaring at me right now. The first step is you're going to pick your platform. So if you don't have a platform through your website and you need to have a plugin or something like that, you want to pick that. So you're comparing features and cost. And there are a lot of low cost options and there are a lot of very complicated options. I work with a bunch of different ones I've used and continue to use. So I can definitely make good recommendations based on your needs, but remember that everybody's needs are different. You're going to collect those 10 to 20 numbers to start. So Again, that could be, hey, I have my existing email list and I'm letting them know this is available and we're emailing them for phone numbers or emailing them for permission. You get just your collection that you're doing. And then you're going to send your first welcome text. You know, hey, welcome to such and such farm. We are happy to serve you and we're open for a good time. Anything that you want to say to send that welcoming into the play. Now, especially with welcome text, you can also have two versions. So you can have one for people who are already customers and familiar with your brand versus people who are coming sight unseen. That's just a smart practice to do. And it's not hard to do in this setup either. Okay, so I've got a quick win challenge for you. If you're feeling confident in what I told you, put today's ideas into action before your next market or CSA pickup. Write one short, clear message. Get your platform together, schedule it, and watch what happens. Track your results, and we'll show you how powerful SMS can be for your farm. Give yourself 1 week to pick your platform and set it up. Write your first SMS message, schedule it before your next market or CSA pickup or event, and then track any sales spikes or responses that you receive. That's a lot. That's a big assignment. I understand that. And also, again, I want you to feel confident because this is the most effective way to connect with customers, old and new, and help you to build your network and your customer base, which will lead to increased sales. You'll see stronger relationships. You'll see it season after season, and especially if you're staying consistent. So, so, so important. So before I go into what a consult will look like, I have to offer you a consult. So if you need help, let me help you. So I have been in food system work for almost 10 years, working with farms, food councils. I'm the chair of one, food nonprofits, you name it, to communicate with clarity and purpose and to kind of just get your stuff together. So I bridge the gap between what you want and the tools that you need to get it. And I try to do my best to empower direct connection between customers and community members because that's your base. What I don't do is cookie cutter marketing. I'm not a marketer. I'm someone who knows how to use marketing. There's a difference, but there's an important difference because I'm actually more on your side of things than being a marketer. I am a business owner, so I care about what you care about. And I build systems that fit your rhythm and your goals and your growing season. Right? You need people that do this work, that do it in our spaces. So they understand the unique challenges of that. It can't be like, I am Joe Schmo marketer for a Fortune 500 company. They will have no concept of what you're trying to do. So what I can offer to help you in this space is 3 things. Farm to inbox assessment. So what does your farm actually need to connect with customers and how do you start? And just figuring that out with you. That's one thing. I can do what I call from the ground up with you. So this is literally, you want this. It's perfect for farms that are new to email or text marketing because you would, in this day and age, you do email and text marketing together. So we'll just kit and caboodle, let's get it done, let's get it up and running for you, and let's start to see progress in that space. And then finally, I offer a la carte. So that is, let's figure out what you need and what, if you need a custom plan, a custom execution, what's happening for you. You have something already and it's not working and you don't know why. That's kind of what that's for. And so I will leave up my contact information. So outside of being the board chair for the council, I consult as well privately. I actually am consulting for a farmer's market right now. And it's a year-long contract to really kind of revamp their strategic plan for their viability and sustainability. I'm really excited about that. And there's there's lots of other things that I do too, but I wanted to share that with you. And also I'm going to pick on Alicia right now in our last few minutes to kind of give you an idea of what a consult kind of would look like. So basically, I would meet with you as the business owner to find out, first of all, like, what are your goals? So Alicia, say the craziest thing to me. What are your goals for Street Fair Farm?
We want like 500 CSA customers in a year.
Okay.
That would make us save money, not only make money, but save money and not go to a farmer's market. Is that crazy?
No, it's not crazy. So here's my
you
next
told
question.
me to be crazy, so.
No, it's not, but and that's why I said that, because I also wanted to prove to everybody that what you think is crazy is absolutely not.
Well, honestly, our goal, like, we have seriously a goal of 100. But
Mhm.
but that's with the farmer's market, right?
Right.
So a lot of farms trying to like put it out there. Farms try to do, it depends on the family, right? Some people want farmers markets only because they don't have like small children to attend to. And then for us, we'd like to switch to a CSA model. So how can we do that?
Mhm. So how many CSA customers do you have now?
About like 80
Okay. How
plus the
long is,
farmers market, right?
right. How long is your CSA season?
It's 12 weeks, 2 times a year. So
Okay.
spring and fall.
Okay. What are you offering, if anything? And it's okay if you're not, but are you offering anything in any kind of way to customers in the winter?
No, but this is where agritourism comes in because, speaking to the ANA community and Visit and See Farms, we would love to offer like some kind of agritourism component.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that's in the mix for us, but I know so many other farms doing the same thing.
Right. Okay. So really what you want to do is basically convert the shopping experience from, and this is just, again, there's about 40 questions I need to ask you that we wouldn't have time for here, but I want to kind of illustrate this for everybody. So I understand your overarching goal, and my first thought is you want to convert the shopping experience. So you have folks who are dedicated to shop with you at the farmers market. They are used to pulling up at Matthews every single week, and that's what they want to do. That is great by itself, but we also want to focus on shifting their mindset, right? We want to understand also too, if we can, and this could be done from the email marketing side, where do these people live, right? Because if you have a pickup point for your CSAs at a brewery, for example, which a few of our farms do, they're doing a lot of that. Even people knowing that that option is available in easily digestible ways is going to start to shift that behavior. And so that is also a huge benefit to SMS marketing because you're reminding them, hey, it's great that we saw you at Matthews. Did you know that you can pick up every week here, or you can order this and know that you have a certain amount of produce that's going to be available for you every single week or every month or whatever it looks like. So it sounds to me, and this is again without the 40 questions, like you have an incredible opportunity for educating your customer. And you're also, in using SMS marketing, you're doing that in a way that's shareable. That's the other thing. When we think shareable, we think Facebook, we think Instagram. But the reality of the situation is people forward texts of information to people all the time. And it's like, hey, I buy from this place. They're now going to do this and I can pick up from this brewery. So when we go get a drink, let's both get boxes. That can happen. And I've seen that happen. So you're trying to foster that kind of re-education, if you will, of your existing customers,
Yes.
while also developing touch points for new folks. You want to be pushing this to your customers when they're shopping at the market, especially if you're getting new customers at the market, because it's like,
Right.
hey, yes, we're here, but did you know we have this other option that could work even better for you? Sign up for this list so you can get more information when it's available to you. The consistency of that is going to start to shift that narrative of how people are shopping. They got to know about you. You know what I mean? And so this is a great way to do that.
Right. And sorry to chime in here,
No, you're fine.
but I think everyone here can relate. And then who we can send this to is beneficial because I, as a farmer, am someone attached to like all kinds of farms that do agritourism and just farm. I don't know many who have signed up for bulk texting and like SMS, like deals
Yeah.
through the MailChimp extension and things like that. So I truly feel like doing this. And also, there's one example. We have a loyal customer who texts us, and she's always like, I'm so sorry, it's a late text, or it seems to be like she feels like she's imposing on us. So I definitely feel that this would, like, it wouldn't be a barrier. People would be texting and we could check it later, you know.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
anyway, I really appreciate this.
No, that's a perfect point too. This requires a different kind of touch point aspect than like email does. Because if somebody's texting you already, that means you're top of mind for them in their habits, right? So if you can develop that with one person and you didn't even offer it, you can develop that with 100 people that you're offering it to. So it's looking at that for people shopping, texting is convenient. So if they know they can reach you in that way, even though it's structured because you have a platform and you're managing your responses and all that, they know they can reach out to you that way. That changes how they interact with you, right? That changes it also creates a more personal relationship. This business is important to me in my life. This business is a core of how I live. It's not just how I get my tomatoes. It's a core of what I'm doing. So that's
Right.
what you're trying to develop and foster when you use this type of marketing, and you're consistent with how you do it.
Yeah. And I, like, as I hear my kids, you know, trying to chime in the background right now, I also want to put it out there that, you know, there's a lot of people like me on the go, and we might not get to our personal emails, for instance. So,
Right.
yeah, I think this is a great tool for the texters out there. So I really appreciate
Mhm.
all of this, and I'm definitely going to follow through as a farmer and show you
Awesome.
some input from what you've done. So
Yeah, I love that.
thank you.
Of course. Any other questions or things I can help you with?
I don't see any, but thank you so much for
Yeah,
giving
no
us so
problem.
much information in such a short time. I can feel you're very similar to me where you're like, I could do this all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
45 minutes is not enough.
Not enough time. Mm-mm.
But
Yeah.
I think just one of the things that I like to remind people is that like you can have fun with this.
Yes.
Yes, it's something new to learn, but like if you tell somebody to text Peach to this number to join the Peach party, who's not coming to the Peach party?
That's right. Exactly. It can be really fun, and it can engage people in really, really easy ways. So, don't be afraid to get creative with it. I mean, just make sure that it's part of your brand, right? If you
Right.
are a brand that's a little bit, cheekier, you can absolutely go in that direction. But also, if you are very kind of like austere and traditional brand, and all of a sudden you're cheeky, it's going to confuse people. So
Right.
you have to think about that for your voice too.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exciting and overwhelming all at the same time.
Yes,
Yes.
I understand that completely. I understand the overwhelming part. It's part of why, I even agreed to do this because, I'm in my 40s. So when I had my first business in my 20s, we didn't even have this. This didn't even exist. So all these things I had to learn and really learn at a high level and take them seriously if I wanted to be successful and be competitive with my own product or my own service. And so I understand the cliff, so to speak, that you stand at when you
Yeah.
start trying to do something like this because it's different. But at the same time, it really can integrate really well into what you are already doing well, and not be intrusive or like extra work per se. The questions and the planning in the beginning, I feel like, is more the work than actually the implementation of it, because you want this to be a long-term strategy. You don't want this to be a flash in the pan. So that's why answering those questions up front is so important in trying to figure out what's best for your business and where you want to see yourself grow to.
Yeah, absolutely. And this might be number 3 or 4 out of the 7 times you've thought about SMS marketing,
Yeah,
right? The
that's
seven
right.
times that we need to have this conversation. So this call or the Empower Hour has been recorded. Christy will send that out to you all probably at least by Monday. So you'll get we'll get the slides. Can we get the link to the slide deck
Yes.
as well? So
Mhm.
you'll be able to go back and take a look at those questions. And even if you need some time to sit with them, do that and then reach out for help when you need it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming out to Empower Hour today. Thank you, Erica, for that update. Thank you, Kenya and Alicia, for talking about SMS marketing and helping us figure out where it fits into our own agritourism operations. So I really appreciate you all's time, and we will see you next month, second Thursday of the month. I don't recall the date off the top of my head, but it's the second Thursday. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your night.
You too. Thank you for having me.
Of
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.